welcome.
Hey, great to be here.
Would love to say hello, but do you guys want to do some quick introductions?
Sounds great.
Sure, happy to. So I'm Connor, founder and CEO of Hyperspell. Hyperspell is context and memory infrastructure for AI agents. So we allow you to connect your AI agents to context from Gmail, Slack, Notion, Google Drive, pretty much any other data source so that they can complete workflows.
That's awesome. And
I'm Lisa Yu, general partner of 99VC, also an angel investor. And yeah, it's been great co-investing in some deals with you.
of course, and you are one of Connor's 4 deployed angels.
Yes.
That's right.
There we go. How did you come up with the idea for Hyperspell?
Yeah, so we actually were solving our own problem. So we started off building an AI agent. I used to be a product manager, and we were building this AI agent to automate, being a PM, you've been a PM. It's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of taking information from meeting notes, and then taking that and updating a PRD or copying and pasting things between different formats. And so we started off creating this AI agent to solve it. And then we realized in the process, getting the context for the AI agent was actually the most difficult thing. And we spent months just building data pipelines and pulling data from Slack and Gmail and Notion and meeting transcripts. And it was really challenging. We were like, this feels like it should be something that should just be solved as a piece of infrastructure. And so our backgrounds, I used to work at Checker, and my whole background at Checker was taking different types of data, turning that into an API, and then selling that to Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and Airbnb. And my co-founder, he's been in machine learning for 15 years. He sold a company doing AI to Airbnb. He was the CTO at a quant hedge fund. He's a 4-time founder. And we were like, wait a minute, we could be the ones to solve this problem. We faced it ourselves. I have the data and API background. He's been doing AI and machine learning. Like, let's put these two together. And that's how Hyperspell was born.
That's cool. And so with Hyperspell, I remember when we first talked, your first idea was, hey, Umesh, you're a PM. We can make your job a lot easier.
Yep.
And all you have to do is connect these few things. And I was like, yeah, sounds good. Make my life easier, please. And then you went from that to then saying, okay, you know what? The harder part of that was actually all these connectors. And once you made that realization, you realize there's a lot of companies that are going to have that same problem.
Yeah.
And so you kind of became the shortcut to actually building any AI tool.
Absolutely. And Umesh, actually, you feature in this story as well.
Yeah.
So we already knew this was a problem for startups because we were a startup ourselves, and we knew it was a problem for our friends who were startups building AI agents. But then we started chatting with you, and you started telling us about Dropbox Dash, where you faced this connector problem as well. And you're like, hey, even us as a big company, we're really struggling to pull in all these different kind of pieces of data and making it useful. And that's when the light bulb went on, and we were like, wow, this is a problem everybody is facing, and it's only going to get bigger. We're only at the start of this wave. And so our vision for the future is every person building AI agent, every company, whether small or large enterprise, is going to use Hyperspell for context.
That's very cool. Walk me through the founder journey a little bit. So it sounds like you've met your founder, your co-founder. You had this one idea, you pivoted a little bit.
We did.
Even throughout that journey of the first idea, what did you guys do first, second? Walk me through that entire journey, especially for new founders out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have changed direction a lot of times. And this is my second company, so I've had some experience working through this. I think my biggest learning is that, reality is very messy, and the truth is rarely in your head. The world is too complicated to have a simple mental model. You really need to get in contact with reality. And so the story of Hyperspell is, I met my co-founder through the On Deck Fellowship.
Cool.
We were both part of ODF 21, and we weren't even sure about working together. We just kind of paired up for this On Deck demo day, and he's very technical. He's a 4-time founder, and he built an MVP in 20 minutes, and then I took the MVP that he built and I ran around and sold it. And I would go to people, I was like, hey, would you pay for this?
Yay.
And they're like, yeah, of course. They were trying to be nice. I was like, all right, here's the Stripe link.
Great.
Just buy it right now.
Amazing.
And I got people to pay for it.
Wow.
He threw this something together in 15 minutes, and I got them to pay for it. And we had 4 paying customers at the end of an hour.
What?
And so in the beginning, we were like, wait a minute, I feel like this can work.
Yeah.
He's scrappy. He's a great builder. I'm a great seller. We can partner together. We won best product at the ODF demo day.
Cool.
And then at the end of On Deck, we got voted most likely to become a billionaire and most likely to become a cult leader.
Cool.
So, there's a combo there. Every great company has a cult at the center of it.
What are some examples of great companies that have cults?
I feel like every big, Apple or Google,
I feel like Elon's probably
Airbnb,
top of mind,
exactly.
right?
You want a really strong culture at the core of it, and very, very strong culture. And I think that was clear from day one that all right, this is going to be a unique company. and we're going to build a unique culture, and very much stand by that.
Cool. Well, that's an incredible journey. What is the culture that you want in your team? It's just you and your co-founder right now. Is that right?
It is. Yeah, we have a couple interns that have been incredible
Cool.
working with us, both students at UC Berkeley. Shout out to Ashni and Marcus.
Amazing.
They've been incredible working with us and extremely helpful. But yeah, full time, it's just the two of us.
Yeah. What's a culture you want to establish or have so that the next 1 to 100 employees join and have that same culture?
Yeah, I think there's a few things with Hyperspell that we really take that are really key for it. So the first one is like, I talked about truth seeking before, and that the ideas that you have in your head are so rarely how the world really works. And radical transparency and getting to decisions through conversation and disagreement, I think is a core piece of our culture. So my co-founder and I started a company together, and we had just met.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the exact advice people say, like, don't do that. You know, don't start a company with someone you just met. But the thing that made it work was we had complementary skill sets, we had complementary personalities, but we had a lot of really, really hard conversations very early on. Things like what direction we're taking, how are we splitting equity, who's going to be the CEO, where are we going to base the company? We had to pivot multiple times in those early days. And I think in every one of those cases, neither one of us was right from the beginning. We got to the right answer through the combination of back and forth over and over and over again. And over time, I realized like this is a real strength of ours. Like pushing and truth seeking and always being willing to question your assumptions is something that I really want to bring to bear at Hyperspell, and have just like radical transparency, open conversations, and always have that flexibility to know that like you know, there's truth out there in the real world, and we should not shy away from conflict and hard conversations.
Super helpful.
Yeah.
Well, that's an incredible journey, and it's just getting started.
It is just getting started.
So YC.
That's right.
Just got in.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah,
Congratulations.
YC F25.
Cool.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. Yeah, I mean, we started the company a year ago, and you know, we spent quite a while figuring out exactly what our direction would be. And I think the other piece of advice I would have to future founders is sell and then build. Figuring out sales is much, much, much actually more challenging than figuring out a product. My co-founder is incredible. He can build anything. But the thing we spent a year figuring out is like, what exactly should we sell? And what does that look like? And what problem are we solving? And who are we solving it for? You know, I think the standard advice is fall in love with the problem. I actually don't think that's right. I completely disagree with that. Fall in love with your customers. Not literally, but like, but you should find a customer base that you're really excited to serve, that you are willing to go above and beyond for. And, you know, we talked about culture internally. I think that's something that is really core to us at Hyperspell, that whether it's at our launch day, we had our customers demo instead of us demoing. I've helped one of our customers organize a launch event for their product. I helped them sell their product.
Cool.
We really try to go above and beyond for our customers. And at the end of the day, it's about the people we're serving.
It's amazing.
Not just our product.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's shift the narrative to a bit more on the fundraising side.
Yeah.
Right.
It's important.
You already had your first company, which is doing well.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, let's go build a second company.
That's right.
Maybe your co-founder went through ODF. Now you have to probably get some capital. What did that journey look like? Yeah. What did that journey look like?
Yeah. So my first company was bootstrapped, very intentionally. We had folks that were interested in investing. We said no. I really wanted to kind of play on hard mode and say, okay, I want to get to profitability. And that taught me a lot of great skills. You know, at one point we had a team of 12 people that were only paid in equity and profit sharing. And so everything was on hard mode. Our marketing, we couldn't afford to pay for marketing. Our recruiting, we couldn't afford to pay people. But we were still able to put together a team and make money from that. For this company, I knew I wanted to do something massive and venture scale and pour fuel on the fire and move quickly. And so the question is, who do you partner with? So our first investor was A4 Capital, which was an incredible first partner on the journey. They say it's never too early, and they really, stand by that. A4 literally invested in us pre-incorporation.
Wow.
So we hadn't even founded a company yet, and I was still wrapping up with the prior company, and they said, you know what? It doesn't matter. You haven't founded a company. You have no customers, no product, and none of this. Put your name on a safe document instead of the company name. I have a safe that literally says this, Conor Brennan-Burke's company, instead of a company name. Sign that. We can wire the money to your personal bank account, and whenever you incorporate, then we'll just redo it and invest in that. And I mean, you can't get any earlier than that. Like literally before the company exists. It's funny. I went to my lawyers and I was like, is this legal? Like, can we do that? Like, you can't own 1% of a person.
Yeah.
Like, I think we outlawed that.
Or
so years ago. But 04 has been incredible. Right. And I think they were perfect for where we are at that phase and willing to work with us through all the different pivots and all the changes in direction and all the different motions to get to where we are now. So that was the first investor, and the second investor was actually you, Umesh.
Oh, cool. I actually know that.
Yeah, you were investor number 2. I think even before we started this company, we had mentioned and talked through, and you said to me, anything you found, I want to be part of. And you stuck by that, and you were one of the first people I called.
Wonderful.
The moment we founded it.
That's cool.
So we appreciate folks that have conviction in our vision and conviction in us as people.
And how did you and Lisa meet?
Yeah, so we met at pretty soon after that. We actually met at a AI infrastructure conference.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah. And so the thing that stood out to me about Lisa from the very beginning was we were just chatting, and I wasn't trying to pitch her or anything. And I told her my idea, and immediately, some people try to poke holes in your idea. They say, oh, well, what about this competitor? Or what about this other solution? Or have you thought about this? And Lisa, the moment I mentioned what we were doing, she's like, oh, that sounds amazing. I can see the vision. I can see the opportunity. Here's how you can 10x it. And here's another opportunity that maybe you haven't even been thinking about. And it was so fun to see somebody like take my idea and then run with it. Who wasn't even an investor. I wasn't pitching her. Like, we weren't even fundraising at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And she immediately started thinking of like, oh, I should introduce you to this person. And I should connect you to this person. And here are all these other people. And that really stood out to me, having that mindset of like, instead of trying to poke holes in this nascent idea that you're still figuring out, let me take your vision and let me figure out how to 10x it and connect you to resources and find a way to build it. And it really stuck with me. And we weren't raising at the time, but that conversation stuck with me. And then when we were raising around later, Lisa was one of the first people that I reached out to.
Yay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lisa, on to you now. How did you become an angel?
Well, I've been angel investing for the last 5 years now. I sold my condo in San Francisco the month before COVID. So the month before the whole world shut down.
That was in the same building as us, right?
Yes, we would have been neighbors. But yeah, and it's funny because, I saw all the stuff that was happening. I track like global markets, and I was like, something's going down. And I knew that the real estate was at a peak. So I sold it. I had a little bit of dry powder. So I had, some, extra capital to invest. So I started angel investing literally in 2020. And, I kind of amassed, a small portfolio of investments. And I ended up using my own data set to invest in companies. So I'm a former founder of OfficeBook, the Airbnb for offices, which was a high growth, basically is a marketplace to help high growth startups find workspace. If you outgrow WeWork, your home office, or your garage. And, a lot of these early founders came to me because they didn't want to sign long lease terms, or they didn't have credit because they could be Canadian or from a different country. And so, it's hard to get space when you are, just starting out or new to the city or new to the country. So I really was able to help these high growth startup founders. They got funding, now they have a budget. Okay, let's go find you space for your team so you can attract talent. Again, this was pre-COVID. And what I did was I accidentally created a sourcing engine for high growth startups. So as I was pitching to VCs, they were interested in the marketplace, but they were also very interested in the data. And so I've quietly amassed this really large data set of high growth startups. So now I have access to over 1 billion data points where I'm tracking startups from incorporation to exit. And, this data set has become really valuable in selecting really great founders and sourcing deals. And so I've definitely helped source deals to many funds all around in, different industries. I'm choosing to focus my fund, 99VC, we're focused on AI and data. So when we met at the AI Infra Summit, it was instantly, I thought, wait, you guys are squarely in the thesis of my fund. I mean, there's nothing, it's like when two puzzle pieces just really fit together. And I think what really stood out about Conor is the fact that he really listened. He's really great at, like, when you're talking It's like he's really in tune and present. And I just thought, wow, like he would be a really great, CEO, really great salesperson. And then when I found out that his CTO is like, super stacked, I was like, okay, this is the perfect dream team duo of, you have the technical founder that can build anything, and you have the business sales guy that can sell anything. So that's just the dynamic duo. So I think I definitely bet on the team, but I also bet on the fact that they really understood that the value of any agent or any system that you build really starts with the data. And when you talk about what really stood out when you talk about like the truth, being truth seeking, it really shows in the product that you're building. And I remember, so we actually ended up, I ended up throwing your launch party.
I remember. It was incredible.
Just a few months ago, and it was super fun. Like we, you borrowed one of my friends' homes, and we had this whole experience. Yeah. And we brought 75 of the best builders, investors, and people who are who's who in AI to come together to really present what the future of AI would be, including your product. You brought your customers, and we kind of brought people through this journey of multiple floors. So on the first floor you had your first customer presenting how they used Hyperspell in their solution, and you had your second customer also do a demo. And so by the time they went to the top floor to do the reveal of Hyperspell, they already got a sense of who you are, what you're building, what value you're creating for the customer. And you had mentioned in your speech, you talked about how the minute you write down information, it's already outdated, right? Yeah. So that is part of the truth-seeking nature, because you could write something down and it could already be obsolete. Yeah. So when you think about on the enterprise level, I mean, any enterprise, if you want to have real-time, most up-to-date, reliable, trustworthy data, so you can do your everyday operations. And now you're helping these enterprises, build AI on top. And so I think it's really important to like marry those two, like being able to understand that the values of your team actually shows up in your product. And so I was really delighted that, A, I invested because of the team, and 2, once I invested, I was able to kind of see all the value, and then 3, to know that what you said in your vision actually shows up in your product. So that just gave me the double conviction. And so I actually ended up bringing some friends into the deal.
What happened after that event?
Incredible. Well, that event was very successful. And even before that event, Lisa is just such a catalyst for things happening in your startup. I mean, I think that impression I got the first time I met was like, wow, here's someone that will take my vision and run with it and take it to places maybe even I wouldn't have conceived of, and bring it with that. I also really appreciate that Lisa had been a founder herself, and she's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to help amplify you. And so, we added Lisa to the round. She was one of the first people when we raised that next round after 04. And not only did she join the round, she ended up bringing in another investor who was 20% of the entire round. And the craziest thing about this other investor, she said, I've talked to them about Hyperspell already. They're interested in chatting with you. I got on the phone with the investor and they asked a few questions. Then they said, hey, Conor, honestly, we already made the decision to invest even before getting on this call with you. We already took this to IC, and just based on what Lisa told us and your materials and your vision, we had already decided. So it's great to meet you, to make sure that you're a real person. We're going to wire the money, but it was already decided on this call, which is incredible to have somebody that believes in so much in your vision that they can pitch it so incredibly well that another investor wants to get on board even before talking to you. I think is exactly what you look for in some of those early believers.
Lisa, what is that strategy? I think you were telling me about this before.
So this is a process that I run called priming, where I prime an investor that I want to bring with me. So before they even meet the founder, they already know the vision, the opportunity, right? The potential TAM, the team, the traction, and they are already on board. And it's something that I do when I feel like I really believe in a founder, and I think that, okay, maybe strategically they need either more resources or or whether it's a customer or an investor, I kind of help market that company to those audiences. So by the time they're in my circle or in the room, whether it's online or at an event, they already know what they're signing up for. They already know that they're part and participating in the vision of the company. And so it converts really quickly because they already get it. And it's not selling them. It's just inviting them into the realm of the opportunity. And because I already shared the opportunity with you to 10x your idea, I pretty much share that same vision of how this company could be 10x to the investor. So they're like, okay, we're sold. Let's go. Let's wire the money. And it just saves everyone time. When you take the time to prime someone before they meet them, it really is influence like in the investor world.
That's cool. What does being a forward deployed angel mean to you?
I think what it means to me is, look, we are obsessed with our customers. And that's what we spend all of our time thinking about. That's what I spend all of my time thinking about. One thing that we take at Hyperspell is becoming as deep with our customers as possible. So I actually work out of our customer offices 3 days a week.
Oh, wow.
So I physically go to their office, co-work with them, grab lunch with them. I'll help them with events that they're doing. I'll help them sell. I've even taken investor calls from their customers' offices.
Like the collision deployment strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Going deep. So I like to think of myself as a forward deployed CEO.
Yeah.
Yes.
But because you get as deep as possible. But so I'm obsessed with my customers, but I don't have time to be, the priming that Lisa's talking about, or you're, going and having those conversations with all those investors and building it. If you can be like heads down, focused on building things, focus on your customers, and then you have somebody else that can bring something that would be very difficult for you to bring otherwise. So for example, Lisa has this incredible network of other investors, and we did this launch event together, and I said, okay, well, I'll bring our customers there. And we were kind of jamming on the launch event. We came up with the idea of like, instead of us demoing first, let's have our customers demo first and have put our customers first and start off there. And then the other thing we did at the launch event, and it was incredible, is so I was like, okay, here's what I want to do. And Lisa's like, all right, I'll take the rest. She got us a beautiful space. It was like a 4-story house for free. She got us like, sushi chefs and brought all these incredible investors to be in that space. And a bunch of people commented, they're like, oh, this is the best event, I've been to in San Francisco recently. And it was incredible to have, rather than spending my time trying to secure a location for it or setting it up, I focused on the customers and telling their story.
Yeah.
And then Lisa was able to like watch my back and handle everything else. And so I think that, as a founder, you should do a few things really, really, really well. And for us, that is like bending over backwards to serve our customers and doing everything we can for them and focus on building a massive company. And then you can have people that fill in those gaps for you.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Lisa, what is a forward deployed angel in your mind?
Well, I think a forward deployed angel is just someone that is helpful, always having the back of the founders and really looking out for them, like genuinely.
Totally.
And it's almost like, I feel like with you're probably similar, where we're very responsive on text. We will make the intros for the founders to customers, to investors. We will help them, review any, pitch documents, or even like help them, set up certain events or opportunities. And even this too, like giving a platform for the founder to speak. Yeah. Like you are literally just walking in the shoes of amplifying your founder just right here, in this room. So I definitely feel like it does take extra effort and intentionality. And I remember when I sent you another founder, so we co-invested in 2 deals now. I believe you were in New York and you were willing to take a call on a Saturday, which would have been like 9 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm like, this forward deploy angel is taking a call in his personal time on his trip with his girlfriend in New York on a Saturday night.
Amy was not happy.
I'm like, is that okay? But I guess you're just on it. And I was very impressed that you were so responsive, because also that round was closing really fast. And I just really appreciate that, I feel like we're on the same page. I think that's why like co-investing and getting into deals with each other has been just very easy, because we have the same vision of being really supportive of the founder's journey.
Totally.